cuffs are off, man. Get right, too many left in these leagues, but I ain't going.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant from NFL Network.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
Marking often, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves.
What up? What up? What up, world? Hope everybody had a wonderful week. My name is Classic Mike. This is the Get Right Fantasy Network. I'll be recapping yesterday's game as well as going over our game-by-game start sit as we go. As always, we are going to be taking your questions live in the chat as we go. So make sure you guys throw those in the chat. All righty. So for those that are new to the channel, make sure you guys check us out also on Mondays, Wednesdays, and of course Friday, and on Sunday morning as well. We do our overreaction show to the week as well as waiver wire targets on Monday. We do some roster management on Wednesday as well as game-by-game start-sit live Q&A shows like this one on Fridays. And then Sunday morning, it's with me doing actives and inactives in the morning, last-minute start-sit advice, and getting your lineups right before kickoff. So make sure you guys check it out. I have the ticker below giving you guys an idea of what's going on so you guys can actually, look back and see when you want to be a part of it. Also, this is usually the longer of the shows that we do. So if you want to just go to a specific game or anything like that, just make sure you guys check out the chapters. We will have those for every game throughout so that you guys can come back and take a look at those as we go so that you guys don't miss any of the content throughout the show. Also, please make sure you guys check out our 1,000 subscriber giveaway video. We are still in the process. It's a pain to try to get us all together. We all have a lot going on, but don't worry. We are going to be giving away that 1,000 subscriber ring. But make sure it only benefits you guys because it gives you guys more time to make sure that you guys check out the video. The video is in the page. I'll make sure to tag it to the comments shortly so that you guys can I want to make sure you guys have an opportunity, if you guys haven't already, to win a 1,000 subscriber ring. This is the ring that we are going to be giving away. So make sure you guys check out that particular video and make sure you guys use the hashtag in the video as well. All righty. Cool beans. So we got one question in the chat. We got Smokey the Cat. What's going on, man? Glad to have you here. He goes, what up, football? Any touchdown parlays this week? That's a great question. The typical ones, as always, you can definitely go. One I might like is Zach Moss. Another would be Chuba Hubbard. If you really want to give it a try, that one's a bold one though. We'll go through that in a little bit on why. Joe Mixon, that might be another one. I like that matchup. Gibbs against the Saints. Could like that one too. Yeah, those are some of the ones that I would pick for touchdown parlays. It's so hard to choose and try to get which ones are actually going to hit. I mean, I do that stuff every week, and I'm no better than you guys. So it's really just trying to find what works and, go with it. A lot of my buddies do this, and one of the best advices that they give me is basically start easy. Do things like receptions that you can find, like there's one that I find all the time. It's like 2.5 receptions for, like a guy that's just stepping in. I did one a couple of weeks ago for Juwan Jennings, and that worked out. Or, guys that are just stepping into new roles, and, Vegas only thinks 2.5. Like, those are the ones that I would focus on comparatively to things like anytime touchdowns. Anytime touchdowns are just so hard to predict in any situation. The only time that it was ever even worth trying is something like Christian McCaffrey when he was on, that streak, that 18 touchdown streak. I remember Travis Etienne doing 2 touchdowns 3 weeks in a row, and in that time frame, I remember going, let me do the 2. Didn't work. So, you're always going to hit it after the fact. So you're better off always aiming for something else like receptions, yardage, things like that. Those are a little bit more doable, a little bit easier to obtain overall. So that's my suggestion if you're looking to, start building a bankroll, as they say. It's a lot healthier than doing the other stuff. Just my own opinion. So a quick recap of yesterday's game. Yesterday's game was very fantasy productive, if you will, for everybody, especially if you had Seahawks. Geno Smith went off. Zach Charbonnet did well, but got hurt. He has a bruised knee. Then we had DK Metcalf go for 3 touchdowns, 6 receptions, and a huge 73-yard touchdown. So honestly, great day for fantasy for a lot of these people. We got to see Tony Pollard get used a little more. He had 20 carries, 68 yards, and a touchdown. On top of that, he also had 4 targets, 3 receptions, and 15 yards. He had a really good run for 12 off of one of the receptions. So it looks like Rico is slowly becoming a thing of the past. CeeDee Lamb getting targeted 17 times is huge. Ferguson being involved as always. Brandon Cooks getting another touchdown. A lot of great things that we've been seeing. So that Thursday game was huge. Had a lot going on. Hopefully you had somebody in that game playing. Hopefully it was DK Metcalf or Geno Smith. Both had great games. So other than that, yeah, the game wasn't really that, it was, very just annoying with flags and all this stuff. But end of the day, it was a great game. So a lot of points. So we got Josh in the house. What's going on, Josh? He goes, would you trade Lamar, Wicks, and Flacco for Hurts and Noah Gray? 20-team PPR. Damn, that's a man's league right there. My roster is Lamar, Mostert, Aaron Jones, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Kelsey, and Kirk. Good bench assets with Jonathan Taylor, Greg Dortch, J-Mo Williams, and Wicks. Okay. Gray would be good in case Kelsey got injured, right? Yeah, he is and isn't. Even when he's out, even when Kelsey gets out, he doesn't really help. If that makes any sense. Like targets don't just automatic. Kelsey gets at least 8 to 9 to maybe even 10 targets a game from Mahomes. Gray, even if Kelsey's not there, wouldn't even get close to that. So I don't see that being like a need at this point. This looks, I'm assuming this is a super flex league just because you're looking to get another quarterback out of this trade, or someone else is looking to get a quarterback out of this trade. Well, 2 quarterbacks. I don't think I would do it. I think you should just stick with Lamar at this point. I don't think you really need to replace Kelsey. And to be honest, there's no replacing a guy like Kelsey. If you're looking for another tight end, I would look for anybody else that's pretty much playing, because everyone else, hold Hold on. So he's like, no, 1 QB, but I'm throwing in Flacco. So the other guy has 1 for this week. Yeah, don't worry about making other people's lineups better. Worry about your own. And honestly, I understand you're trying to make the trade go through. But at the end of the day, you have a good roster. There's no point in churning it to try to make something better. I mean, honestly, from what I'm seeing, you need a running back. You don't need any. Yeah, no, not worth it. Like I would find another tight end. Gray is not the answer, in my opinion. If you're looking to have a backup to Kelsey, look in the middle tier of tight ends. And if you want to trade one of your assets for those, that's what I would do. So let's take a quick look at the top 15 at tight end. Let's just look at them real quick, just to give an idea of what you're looking for. Because Noah Gray is nowhere. Noah Gray only helps you when it comes to replacing Kelsey just going down like that week. You're better off having a guy that's worth replacing like that. So hold on. You have in the top grouping, you have Hawkinson, Kelsey, Kittle, Laporta, Andrews, Kmet, Ferguson, Schultz, Hill, Kincaid, Njoku, McBride, Ingram, Thomas, Jonnu, who you don't really need, guys like Dallas Goedert. So honestly, I would try to get guys that you can afford and not have to trade away Lamar. And I understand you're getting Hurts out of it, and that's fine. If you feel like that's an upgrade for your team, that's fine. I personally think that you're better off having a guy like Lamar in this case. And believe me, if you're new to the show, I'm not a big fan of Lamar or Hurts just as like a real life quarterback. Fantasy, I understand. But when it comes to this particular setup or the roster that you currently have, I mean, you're pretty set with what you have as your grouping of guys. I think you just need another tight end or a running back. Honestly, you need a running back from what I can see. Mostert and Aaron Jones aren't helping your team. Tyreek Hill is basically the backbone with Kelsey behind it. So you're more or less looking for a not a replacement, but you're looking for depth at running back and a backup tight end. So if you want it, like I said, you can go for any of those other guys if you really want to. And the guy that just popped into the chat, Mr. Rasta, yo, what's up? Sorry, he can't make it tonight. It's okay. He's not feeling great, but he'll be able to help you guys out in the chat. We got Wilson as well. All I can really say is I would target those other guys that I mentioned before. I would target guys like Jake Ferguson. I target guys like Dalton Schultz. No worries. We appreciate it. So you do have Jonathan Taylor, those one. Yeah. And of course, all I'm trying to say is that at the moment, you're weak at running back. You're weak at tight end. Well, not weak at tight end because you have Kelsey, but you think you're going to need a backup tight end. So, like I said, if you're looking to use assets for people, I would definitely go for the other guys that I mentioned before. Guys like Ferguson, guys like Njoku or McBride or Ingram, like guys that can help you if Kelsey goes down. They're better options than Gray. Gray is in a good offense, but Mahomes doesn't really target him as often as you might think. That's just my opinion. I can see it with how I like just watching the game. It just nothing screams it's going to go to Gray. They'll probably use Rice more. That's just how I see it. But I would definitely go after those other guys. Ferguson, Schultz, Hill, Kincaid, Njoku, McBride, like those guys. If you can try to get Kmet, great. But otherwise, Yeah. And right now, the leading tight end is TJ Hawkinson, which is crazy, by 10 points. Laporta's sneaking up behind them too. So anybody in the chat watch the Adam Rank? Shout out to Get Right. Yes, I did. Thank you very much, Wilson. We really do appreciate it more than you know. It was really great to hear Adam Rank again. Great to see him. Always a great guy. So can't wait to possibly have him back on the show so that we can talk some football as usual. All righty. So, like I tell everybody, make sure you guys throw your questions in the chat if you have any. We're going to be going through them as we go through the breakdowns of the game. We already did Thursday Night Football because it was pretty easy. Everyone had a really great game, and I'm glad for some of them. Rasta doesn't like it too much because I just played DK Metcalf against him in his home league. I need this win this week, so hopefully I can get this one. So DK will be the reason, or at least hope he's the reason, if I can get the win. But we will see. Neanderthal, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining. Hope everything is going well. All righty, let's get into the next set of games. We have the Broncos, who are 6-5, going to visit the Houston Texans, who are also 6-5. Houston is favored by 3 in this matchup. The over-under is 47.5. So for the Texans, Dalton Schultz will be out for this particular game. He didn't look great throughout practice and is currently nursing an injury. D'Amico Ryans sounds optimistic about guys like Tank Dell being available. He lists Tank Dell being questionable with a calf injury. Noah Brown is also listed as questionable. So they will be more like game time decisions. So come back on Sunday night or Sunday morning, and I'll let you know if they're in or out. For the Broncos, Jerry Jeudy is going to be good to go. He's the only guy worth mentioning on the injury report for the Broncos. So Broncos look healthy. Texans are kind of less healthy on the offensive side of the ball, but they've been playing well either way. They did lose Tyson Howard, really key part to their offensive line, but that's okay. They are, they're going to do what they have been all year. Honestly, at one point they only had one starter on the line and they still were balling out. So I think they're going to do just fine moving forward. You can pretty much start anybody in this game. I wouldn't start Jerry Jeudy. He hasn't been really performing well. I think you can definitely go with Nico Collins and guys like that. And a good question, Puka, Kupp, Cooper, or Nico Collins, starting 3 in non-PPR. So best to get you a touchdown. So this one's a tough one for me. I would aim Nico for one of them. I'd aim Kupp for the other. Puka is tough. I would probably go Cooper to kind of diversify a little bit because Joe Flacco I definitely trust. You also have Zay Jones and Dotson. Okay. I would probably go Cooper, Kupp, and Nico. Amari Cooper, Kupp, and Nico Collins. Those are the 3 I would do. Yeah, Cooper with Flacco, I think could have a good chemistry. Flacco has no problem. He's older. He's more of a pocket passer, but will definitely target his number 1 receiver. So I feel comfortable with Cooper. So I would probably go with one of those guys. Puka I can trust, but it's tough. Cooper Kupp is coming off of his ankle injury. He re-aggravated it in the game, but he continued to play through it. He was limited most of the week. He will play, but I would be it's cautious with that play. I don't think, and he hasn't been producing as well as he used to. So if you wanted to swap Kupp for Puka, I could see that as well. Just because Puka's been having a couple, better days. Nico Collins has been doing great so far. Zay Jones is an interesting one because I do feel like he can be involved. He's a very big red zone target. But I do think that the three I mentioned before are probably your best bet. But other than that, for the Texans, I mean, you can start Russ in this game too. I think Russ and Stroud are good starts this week. For the running backs, of course, I think Devin Singletary is probably the better of the two. Javonte Williams has been doing serviceable. He's not doing great, but he's involved. Wouldn't mind starting him in this game. It's a good run defense that he can run on. They're not a good run defense, but they are good for running backs. You're starting Cortland Sutton unless you have like three other really good options. He's a very good start in most situations. I'm going to be if Chris Olave doesn't play against the matchup I have for Rasta, I'm definitely going to be throwing in Cortland Sutton just because it is definitely worth it. But I have a couple of other guys that are, definitely above that, in my opinion. Tight ends for this game, non-existent. Belvin Jordan is the only other guy that I can mention that might do okay, but Justin Simmons tends to shut down most tight end options. So for me, you can't really play any of the tight ends in this particular matchup. It's just not worth it. And for the Broncos, there's no one really worth playing anyway. So, yeah. All righty. Let's move right along to the Chargers versus the Patriots. We have the Chargers, who are 4-3, going to visit the Patriots, who are 2-9. Chargers are favored by 5.5, and the over-under is 40. There's a reason for that. The Pats will be starting Bailey Zappi this week, no longer with Mac Jones. They're going to be having little dashes of Malik Cunningham sprinkled in there, but Mac Jones will be the third quarterback and most likely not playing at all. They're also going to be without Kayshon Boutte. He has a shoulder injury and an illness, as well as Demario or Pop Douglas. Both will be out. So both of them out of your lineup. This kind of puts a little bit of a bump for Devontae Parker, but only a little bit. Maybe Hunter Henry. Chargers, Keenan Allen was listed as questionable, but Brandon Staley sounded encouraged that he's going to be good to go. So should be interesting game. I don't really want a lot out of here unless it's the Chargers. Honestly, yeah. Eckler, fine. Herbert, fine. Allen, fine. That's about it. Ramondre Stevenson, you can play just because he'll get volume. That's really it. There's not much that I would play in this game. Maybe Hunter Henry on the other side of the ball for the Patriots. If you're in this is a rough week. We have 6 teams on a bye this week. I should have mentioned that in the beginning. But we have 6 teams on a bye this week. A lot going on. So it's one of those things where when you have the Ravens, the Bills, the Bears, the Raiders, and Vikings, the ton of craziness going on in this particular week, it's one of those things where I'm if I have to, I'll play Henry, but that's about it. So, yeah, that game was pretty easy. Next game, we got the Lions, who are going to visit the Saints, who are 5-6. Lions are 8-3. Lions are favored by 4.5. Over under is 46.5, which is great numbers. Adding T. Higgins to your lineup, I see. Way to do it while I'm on the air, Rasta. Jerk. Anyway. Sorry, I get the updates and it's really funny. And he's definitely listening, so he'll pop in any second. Lions are good to go on the offensive side of the ball right now. The only small thing to note is Alex Anzalone. He will be out, as well as Jonah Williams, their guard. For the Saints, Rashid Shaheed has been ruled out already. He will not play in this game. Chris Olave is still technically in concussion protocol. But he has one step left, which means we should know by tomorrow if he's cleared to play. So just keep a real keen eye out for alerts on that as well. If he clears, he's good to go. He had a full practice today, limited yesterday. So he has been ramped up and hopefully should be good to go as of Sunday. A lot of people are relying on him. So we will wait and see. The over-under is high enough that I would play anybody in this particular matchup. I really have no problem playing Montgomery or Gibbs. You're playing Kamara, of course. I really do like Jared Goff in this matchup. He's indoors, regardless if it's away or home. That home away split isn't really that high anymore. But yeah, I'm definitely playing Jared Goff, regardless. Laporta, I'm going to play until the wheels fall off. He's tight end 4. And then for the Saints, you could play Juwan Johnson. I think he's not a bad play. Taysom Hill is starting to become a weekly caveat that you can throw in there every so often. If Chris Olave doesn't play, there's not really much behind him. They do have a guy, Kirkwood. He's actually not bad, but I don't know if I would play him in this scenario unless I was really, really desperate. But we'll have to wait and see with that one. Derek Carr, I don't trust to do much, so it's going to be a little tough for that one. But pretty much you can play anybody else if you're looking to do that. All righty, we had some questions in the chat, so let me get to those. Sports Bro, what's going on, Sports Bro? Glad to have you here. If you're first time listening, thanks for joining. If you could, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the show. We'd greatly appreciate it and help us out immensely. He goes, who should I start? Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, T. Higgins, or Joshua Downs? Nice. So if we're only going with one here, most of the time I would have told you Higgins. With the change at quarterback, that might change. I like Jaden Reed a lot, but Christian Watson has been coming back into his own slowly but surely. So it's really a choice between the two Packers. I might have to. I'm leaning Jaden Reed just because I've used him and he's been doing well for me. Christian Watson has been doing well in his own right, but I just haven't really. I don't feel it. I never liked him in the beginning of the season, to be fair. Josh Downs has kind of fell off. Well, I wouldn't say fell off, but he hasn't really done what I've wanted him to be from the first couple of weeks he was with Minshew. So I'm going to go Jaden Reed here. It's a bold take. So Anthony goes, how is he? Yeah. So how is Higgins available? I have Chase, so I didn't really want him, but can have him. Just out there in case I threw pop in my IR so I can. Oh, you lucky bastard. I haven't had an opportunity to do that yet. So, Mato, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here. He goes, need one. Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, or I'm assuming this is Jameson Williams. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Ridley. Ridley with Zay Jones back in the lineup. Wilson, I am aware that Jaden Reed is questionable. That doesn't mean he's not going to play. I do think he'll be just fine. If for some chance he doesn't play, then you have Christian Watson already. Throw Christian Watson in. That's how I would play it because you have both. Also, I'm holding the Eagles defense in case. I don't need to know your strategy. So it looks like Anthony is going to roll with Downs in this particular scenario. Okay. Hey, man. If you guys want to roll with Downs, roll with Downs. I like Jaden Reed. Been producing lately. Yes, he's questionable. Doesn't mean he's not good. Doesn't mean he won't do well. So I would go with Christian Watson or with Jaden Reed. That's just my opinion. out of those groupings. Facing the Chiefs, we'll see. Ingram or Taysom Hill? Oh, this is a good question. I'm always going to lean I have both. I'm going to be leaning Ingram here. I understand the usage with Taysom, but it's hit or miss with him. He could have 2 points, 30. He's too volatile. Ingram is a little bit more conservative, if you want to go that way. So if you're looking for more of a guy that is like a steady floor, Ingram's your guy. If you want a guy with a high ceiling, you go with Hill. It's based on your matchup. So if you are like Rasta and faced me last night with DK Metcalf, or let's just say you could have had the stack of Geno and Metcalf, and you need a little bit of a bump, Hill might be your best bet just because of the concept that he can go off at any point. Ingram is just a really solid guy, but I think Hill is probably the answer. And especially if Olave is out. If Olave's out, then you're playing Taysom Hill without even thinking twice. Steven in the house. What's going on, Steven? How are you tonight? He goes, a chain, Rashid Rice, Devin Singletary, pick one, half PPR. Ooh. Chain coming back from injury. Devin Singletary, been hot. Rashid Rice as well. Both have been doing real good lately. I think I'm going to go with, I want to say a chain is the best option, but there is so much risk involved. So just be aware of that. If you're going to play him, there is risk of him re-aggravating the injury. He did the week he came back, and he sat out a week. So just be aware that with a chain that you could have that particular situation. I don't mind Devin Singletary. The only caveat is that Broncos have actually been playing better against the run as of late. They are currently well, unfortunately, their numbers are all skewed because of the Miami game. It makes them at the easiest matchup. This is a tough one, Steve. I think I'm going to roll with A-Chain. Just understand that there's a real good risk of aggravation. I'd probably go A-Chain, Devin Singletary, and then Rice. That's how I would do it. We got Ray in the house. What's going on, man? I don't know why you took away the Barkley from your template. I always like seeing Barkley in your template. He goes Moss or Hopkins. Gotta roll with Moss, man. And I believe me, I understand full PPR too. Roll with Moss. I am sticking to it, and I'm probably going to get hurt by saying it. I'm rolling with Moss regardless. Oh, that was McKinney? I thought that was Barkley. Either way, like the pitcher. It's a giant. We got Ford or Pacheco. Okay, full PPR. Gonna have to go. Let's see what we got here. Haven't gotten to that game yet. Rams. Okay. Packers. Lower end of the spectrum. I'll go Pacheco. Good old Pacheco. I think Pacheco could be a good play for this. Yeah. Anthony agrees with Moss. He also goes, Steven, if you need some boom, then I go Rice. They're talking him up again and coming off a good game. Singletary is going against Denver, but their D is legit. I'd wait a week for a chain. Yeah, it's so tough. It's really tough. That one was a good question. Oh, what's going on, man? He goes, no question, just saying what's up, Mike and Rasta. Good. Always glad to see you, brother. Thanks for coming in, Perry. Appreciate it. Ooh, the question of the day. Do I start Najee or Warren? All right. As much as Warren's been involved, Najee's actually been doing quite well. They changed the offense a little bit to be a little bit more balanced, a little more run heavy. They're using both of them kind of. I mean, the snap counts from the last few weeks. Let me get them up for you because honestly, they're both doing fine together. And I like Harris a little bit more. I'm a little biased though because I like Najee. I like I like his size, but for me, it's definitely Najee. Um, so hold on one sec. Let me get you the run here. So snaps wise, they've been pretty even-ish. It's like a 60-40. Najee with 38, Warren with 34 last week, 33, 26, 33, 33, 38, 26, 35. Najee is still getting the nod, regardless of what they said to you. They were telling you, hey, the Warren is the lead guy. You're gonna have to go with Najee. Yeah. Yep. And this is the other reason why Matt Canada is gone. So they've been running a little bit better. That was said before he was cut. I like Najee a lot more. I'm playing Najee this week in my own lineup. A lot of people in the chat agree. Well, a few people in the chat agreeing as well. So I'm going to roll with Najee for this one. That's what I would do. So keep your questions rolling through. We got Ross in the chat to help you out, as well as Wilson and a few others. So make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat. I'm going to continue moving on to the next game. We got where are we? Sorry about that. There we go. We got the Falcons going, who are 5-6, going to visit the Jets at MetLife Stadium, who are 4-7. A little bit of info for those that are in the Northeast, or sorry, for those who are not in the Northeast. There's a little bit of a storm front coming through on Sunday. It's going to hit a few of the games. Unfortunately, the Jets game is going to be one of the worst. So this one's going to be a very, very sloppy, wet, gross game. Just know that in advance. It's going to be gross. Brees Hall was a full participant in Friday's practice. He was listed on the injury report. He should be fine. Matt Collins is questionable. Aaron Rodgers is not playing yet. So, yeah, I would definitely just be aware. But he's not playing. Matt Collins is questionable. We already got that. This game, the over-under is 33.5. They're playing Tim Boyle. The only person that I would play in this is Bijan Robinson, Brees Hall, maybe Garrett Wilson, just if you're at this point stuck with playing people, and the Falcons defense. Those are the only guys that I'm playing in this particular matchup. It is going to be a sloppy mess of a game. Falcons are favored by 2. Over-under is 33.5. One of the lowest totals that I've seen in quite some time. So for me, I am pretty much staying away from this game if I can. Like I said, all I really want in this game is the Falcons defense and Bijan, if anything. Maybe Algier, just because they'll stick to running the ball a little more. You're not playing any of the tight ends. Not worth it anymore. The quarterbacks are just garbage. No one's playing any of them. So, yeah, easy game. But I would keep an eye on the Pittsburgh game, Pittsburgh, Arizona, Miami versus Washington, New England versus the Chargers, and San Francisco versus the Eagles. All those games are going to be bad weather games. They're going to be with some type of rain and wind. The wind shouldn't be that bad, so it's mostly going to be rain. So you think they run Israel? I'm not going to even try over Brees if it's too sloppy because of his knee. I don't know. Maybe. But I doubt it, though. They're still trying to stay competitive. Falcons are actually in the hunt, and they could play some type of spoiler in this particular game, and Solid should be fine. I think they're going to run Hall. There's no point in not. The only other guy that I would maybe play is Tyler Conklin, and that's if you're really, really, really short at tight end and you have no one else to roll with. He was available that someone could have used this week. I would use him. So I see a few more questions in the chat. Let me, excuse me, change it up here. So Ray goes, Brian Robinson or Josh Downs? I might go Brian Robinson here. Oh, it's full. Never mind. Josh Downs. I'm going to go Josh Downs. Oh. Womp. Rasta said that. With that being said, he started Warren over Charlotte. Oh, wow. That stinks. He agrees. Roll Downs. Gibson's back. Makes sense. Wilson goes, Dortch or Pickens? That is the question. I'm going to go with George Pickens. They said they want to get him a little bit more involved. So I'm going to go with Pickens for my answer. Rasta goes, he agrees. He agrees. Go with Pickens. He doesn't like Dortch. So I don't blame you. I don't like Dortch either. So I'm going to go with Pickens. They did say they want to get him a little bit more involved as they go. So that's what I'll go with. All righty. Moving right along. Let's get to that game, actually. The Cardinals, who are 2-10, going to visit the Steelers at 7-4. The Pittsburgh Steelers are favored by 5.5. The over-under is 41 points. Like I said, bad weather game for this one. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be gross. What do we got? Rainy with 11. It's going to be raining with 11-mile-an-hour winds throughout the game. So it's going to be a little bit crappy in this game. Michael Wilson is listed as out, so this is why Greg Dortch is being asked about. The Cardinals are also cut Zach Ertz, who cleared waivers today. He's looking into the Eagles at this point and is just waiting to play for a contender. So we'll wait and see where he lands. So maybe he goes there. We'll see. Steelers are going to be with Minka Fitzpatrick. He will be back, which is great for them and their defense. So that should be a big boost for their offense. Najee and Warren, I think both are playable. I do think Deontay and Pickens are both also good choices as well. I really do think Freiermuth is a great play as a tight end this week. So throw him in your lineup. I do think Trey McBride as well. James Conner, they're going to want to keep it on the ball, keep it on the ground. So great question. McBride with Ertz back. So yeah, no, Ertz is on waivers, so he's gone. Or Freiermuth. I'm going to go with I want to go Freiermuth here. The defense that Cardinals play is mostly cover 4. Thank you, Jordan. I always get your last name wrong. Vanix. If you guys need to follow somebody, follow him. He talks about how the Cardinals are cover 4, and pretty much Freiermuth lives in that, stays underneath. Yeah. Give me Freiermuth all day long. Love Freiermuth. So, all righty. We got some other questions that just came in the chat, so let me get to those. Male Nurse Rock 2, what's going on, Male Nurse? How you doing, man? Love nurses. Respect all you guys. My wife's a nurse, so always enjoy speaking to you guys. So he needs some help. He says full PPR, 10 team. I'm going to start 3 running backs. I have White, Stevenson, ETN, Ford, and a chain. And Moss. Holy Nikes. I am so second-guessing myself. Need help bad. All right. So you're going to start 3 running backs. Those 3 running backs have to be ETN, White, and Moss. Those are the 3 that I would play. Yeah, look at that. Me and Roster are on the same page. I didn't even look at yours, man. I didn't even look at your particular answer. This is we're mind melding this time. We're not even on the same set, and we're mind melding. So yes, for the question, where are you? Where'd you go? I scroll up and I lose you. There you are. Male Nurse, Rock 2. We're gonna go White, ETN, and Moss. Those are the 3 guys I would play out of that group. It's hard to sit guys like Stevenson, Ford, and HN, but I'm telling you, those are the guys that I would go with. So would Anthony. So would a couple other guys in this group. So, so hold on. So the only caveat that I would do, hold on. The only caveat is right now ETN is questionable. So, Male Nurse, be aware of what I'm telling you here. I might change it. I might change it now that I thought about that. ETN is questionable with the chest injury. He was limited today as the second practice. So he has to be limited tomorrow or higher for me to even be considering ETN as someone that's going to play on Monday night. Remember, this is a Monday night game, and it's the Bengals and Jaguars. So if you wanted to pivot, I would pivot to Ford. Right? I would pivot to Ford if I was going to pivot to anybody. Yeah, in a dome, better conditions. It's on the road, though. That's okay. I think I'm going to go. So, yeah, ETN chest injury. He came back in the game, though. If he were, yeah, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, but just be aware of that. If you do have room on your roster for an extra bench guy, go grab Dearness Johnson. He's going to be the number 2 behind him. I would grab him in a heartbeat if you have the spot. Only if you have the spot. I wouldn't cut any of those 5 though, because those 5 are pretty volatile. Like you have a good group there. Yeah, I don't think I would cut any of these guys to get them. But I would definitely, if you could find a way to get him on your team, I would. Just because then you have, you have some type of insurance. We got Ray going Taysom Hill or Gerald Everett because I lost Andrews. Oh, yeah, no, that sucks. I think the caveat is if Chris Olave is out, I'm playing Taysom Hill. Everett, yeah, I kind of agree. The way that Anthony said it was perfect. Everett, unless you feel frisky with Hill, both are great options. I would Hill is just so hard to predict, man. Like I said before, he can go for 0 points or 30. Everett can get 3 and a touch, 3 for 40 and a touchdown. So I think Everett is the solid floor. Hill is the more I need a, I faced. I mean, there is a perfect world where you could have faced Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, Tony Pollard, and Zach Charbonnet. So there is a way that you could have faced all those guys on one team. So thanks. It was hard for me to choose from Stevenson or Moss. No, I would go Moss 10 out of 10. They ran him in, they ran him. He did well in that offense. It's the Titans who he put 33 points up against last time. I understand that probably won't happen this time, but it just shows that he has the ability to do it again. but that's just how I feel about it. I really do like Zach Moss a lot. Stevenson, I mean, like I said in the beginning, the Patriots game is against the Chargers. Chargers are middle of the pack. They're at like 23. Yeah, they're like 23rd best against the run. I get the reasoning. But what teams are going to do is load the box. They're going to load the box and they're going to let Zappy throw it. So for me, I'd rather take the better, situation. That defense is meant to be run on. So I'm going to go Zach Moss regardless if it's going to be those two. Ross is saying, didn't know we shared a birthday. Belated happy birthday. So yes, Roster's birthday was on Tuesday. So happy birthday to Rasta. My birthday is on Monday. So we are a week apart, which is fantastic. He goes, thank you so much for the advice. I really appreciate it. Of course, man, that's what we're here for. Check us out every Friday night. We're here. Normally, we're here a little bit later. Usually, it's like 11 o'clock at night on a Friday. But I'm coming to you a little early today. I got an early tea time tomorrow. So I want to make sure that I am ready for that. Definitely want to play golf tomorrow. But we're here every Friday. Sunday morning, I'm here every morning at 11 o'clock. To help you guys. Then we're here Monday, Wednesdays, and of course Friday. So just look at the ticker. That's when we're here. So make sure you come check us out again. Always here to help. Ray goes, I made one of my leagues best ball, so I don't have to sweat it like the rest. Hey man, I love doing that. Thanks, man. It's not until Monday, but I appreciate it. I won't be here Monday. I'll be here Sunday, though. I will definitely be here Sunday. Hopefully. And it is not his 50th birthday. It's his 40th. Leave him alone. He's not that old. It's only his 40th birthday. I don't know where people got the 50th from. You kids, I know. We're only joking. Only joking. Let's see if I forgot anything. Nope, didn't forget anything. Let's move right along to the next game. We have a game that we've been talking. Only 39. My bad. I knew you were at the 39-49 mark, or 39-40 mark. My bad. Let's move on to the Colts game. Hold on. Colts versus Titans. Colts are 6-5, going to visit the Titans at 4-7. Like I said, this game is going to be a little bit of weather involved, but that's okay. Colts are favored by 1, and the over-under is 42.5. This game should be fine, actually. Not a bad weather game. Jonathan Taylor has been ruled out already. He's dealing with a thumb injury. He's getting thumb surgery and should be out for 2 to 3 weeks. They are not putting him on IR, but they get back Ryan Kelly, their center, which is huge news for them because Ryan Kelly is a all-pro center and one of the best in the league. Titans are having Treylon Burks listed as questionable at this point. Does he play or not? He has to still clear concussion protocol, which we won't know until tomorrow. So keep an eye on it. He has been practicing, which is good. I'm glad that he's coming back. It's been a long time since the injury. So we're hoping to get him back soon. The Titans are hoping to get him back soon. For this game, I definitely think Zach Moss is a must play. You have to play him if you have him. He'll get the majority of the touch to the point where he was, getting it in the beginning of the year. Michael Pittman should be fine. I think Michael Pittman should have a great game in this one. Hopkins is in a good spot as well, so I'm pretty good with that as well. Derrick Henry should have a really good game. This isn't, this time of year tends to always come out. Colts are weak, weakish against the run. What are they? Yeah, they're 28th. So definitely going to, load them up. That's probably about it. Will Levis is kind of unless you're in a 2 QB leg, it's not worth it. Same with Minshew. I'm pretty much only going to be starting guys like Pittman, Moss, Henry. Those are the 3 that I would target. Maybe Josh Downs in some situations, but that's about it. I don't really target anybody else. I don't want to say Nick Westbrook at Keenan. It's just not worth it. Also, make sure you guys are checking out in the chat. We have to make sure you guys check out our 1,000 subscriber giveaway video. There's still time to enter. This is going to be it. The drawing will be next week. I promise we will have it next week. I know we've been promising this for almost a week now. Just life gets in the way, man. Life gets in the way. It's just how it goes. So make sure you guys check it out. And make sure you guys get your spot. Get a chance to win that thing. Yeah, whatever. I messed it up. I mess up everything. It's fine. Ray, I don't know when we're going to get super chats. That's going to be something to talk about possibly during the off season. But right now, I don't think we're going to be having those set up yet. But can't wait till we do. All righty. So let's move right along to the next game, which is the Dolphins, who are 8-3, going to visit the Commanders at 4-8. Miami is currently 9.5-point favorites, of course. The over-under is 49.5. The only big thing is David A-Chain. He's right now. McDaniels said that he is going to play, so he's going to play in this game. Commanders don't have any injuries that really matter. Everyone's playing. So that's everybody from, Curtis Samuel, Antonio Gibson, guys like that. Everybody's playing. Honestly, I think you can load up everybody in this game when the over-under is that high. Just means that everybody is, every piece of the pie should be used. But I would definitely, the guys that I'm confident in, Tua, I would play Howell. I think Howell should be fine. You can play both running backs if you want. You can play. A-Chain is the only guy I'm probably going to sit. I don't mind playing Mostert. I think that Wilson might get a little more run though. Wide receiver, you're playing Hill and Waddle until they both can't play for you. And then for the other side of the ball, I don't mind playing guys like Terry McLaurin or Dotson or Curtis Samuel. I think all 3 are good. Even Logan Thomas can be involved. So I think all those guys are pretty much startable and ready to go. So roster goes hopefully soon, but you can always buy some merch from our website, T-shirts, sweatshirts, etc. And that helps us out. So yes, go check out our site at getrightff.com. Tons of merch there, tons of swag, anything you guys want. Hoodies, cups, all types of stuff. Check it out. Always great stuff in there. All righty, moving right along. Let's get to the Panthers, who are 1-10. Going to visit the Bucks, who are 4-7. Bucks are 5.5-point favorites. The over-under is 36.5. Woo. Some big, well, I wouldn't say big news, but the Buccaneers are a little banged up on defense. They are going to be without Levante David and Devin White and Jamal Dean. So all those guys are out. That just means the middle of the field is wide open for this one. Tommy Tremble is doubtful for this game, while Hayden Hurst is listed as out. So both guys are going to be not there. I have no problem playing Chuba Hubbard in this particular matchup. With those guys out, I think in this particular case, it could help. I also think it's going to help Thielen a little bit. I do think with the coaching changes, with Frank Reich not being there anymore, the running backs coach gone, with Deuce Staley and Josh McCown, all 3 are gone. So I do think this changes the offense a little bit. I think Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders are going to split a little more. But Hubbard, I think, could have a decent game. Thielen could do okay, but I don't think he's going to be at the top of the list. overall, you can play guys like Rashad White. I think Baker's not a bad play as well. Mike Evans should do fine. I think Chris Godwin came off the injury report. I didn't see much about Godwin today, but he was hurt. But Evans is definitely a good play this week as well. So, yeah, those are the guys I would play. I'm not playing Young. Not at all. Can't play Young anymore. Just not worth it. Not worth it. So Ray goes, what do we do about Kupp and Puka? They're just not producing. You're right. What to do about them is tough. I don't know if it's the offense. I don't know if it's Matthew Stafford. I don't know if it's Kupp. It might just be Kupp. I think Kupp has – I think the injury to Kupp is worse than what people are making it out to be. They're not targeting him as much. He's only getting thrown in there. I've only seen him in there on like third down situations. I don't know. I have Kupp in one league that I'm relying on him, and it's tough. Puka is being used a little bit more, but this offense has been more of a run offense. So that's tough, honestly. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do, and I'm a Kupp owner. I traded Kupp away before Kupp came back, and I got a little bit. I felt like I got a good haul for him. So if the hard part is you can't trade him away because everyone knows how bad he's been. So you have to wait for the good game to kind of get rid of him. And that's the tough part. We'll have to wait and see. So Wilson says it's nice that Sleepers stepped up to allow the commission to block teams from picking up players that didn't make the playoffs. Oh, that's cool. I love that. A lot easier. So Male Nurse says, it's funny. I had all those running backs, but I had to pick up Moss just to make sure no one else picked him up. See, I do that all the time, and I love it. But Moss is a really good play this week. So that's where you're kind of, your pickup was a great pickup. You can't not play a guy like that. He's just really good. He should have never been on waivers to begin with, to be quite fair. He should have been on your bench, should have been on somebody's bench. He was on my bench, and he hasn't left my bench. He needed to be on my team. And I actually offered the JT owner Moss about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago before the trade deadline, or 2 weeks ago. And he's like, no, I'm good. You know who you are. You're not watching, but you know who you are. Yes, Wilson. You are the official Get Right Fantasy Network Listener League owner. So we have KJ Flint going Kyler or Carr this week. Ew. I don't like either. If you're going to have me pick one, I'm probably going to go Carr. Indoors, better game. Cardinals are going to play in crap weather. So I'm going to go with Carr. Just a better matchup, better environment. This time of year, environment always trumps when I have, when it's when I have two guys at the same point, I pretty much use the weather, for that one, and they're at home, so I feel better with Carr. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Carr. All right. Moving right along, let's get to this. We already been talking about Kupp, so let's talk about their team as well. So we got the Browns, who are 7-4, going out to Los Angeles to face the Rams at 5-6. Rams are favored by 3.5. The over/under is 40.5. The Browns are going to be starting their newly acquired QB, Joe Flacco, this week. Fourth QB this year that they're going to be starting, which is crazy. fourth starting quarterback they've been playing all year. So, yeah, Joe Flacco is going to be playing this week. Kind of still shocked to hear that name come out of my mouth. And this late in life. Everyone else is pretty healthy. For the Rams, Cooper Kupp was limited all week with his ankle injury. He will play, but just be aware he's been limited all week. Joe Flacco makes the offensive players a little bit better. So guys like Elijah Moore, Cooper, I feel like he's a lot better of a passer than the other guys. So that definitely helps those guys. Njoku should be his safety blanket. So I do see Njoku having a good game for this one. Jerome Ford should do fine. Should be checked down Joe right to him. So I see Jerome Ford doing well in this game as well. Rams, I mean, Kyron Williams has been killing it lately. The team just looks like they've changed their identity to a run team. They've been pass happy prior to this, but it's crazy that now they're more of a run team. This is not a gross question, Wilson. This is actually a legit question, and I like it. Is it gross to ask, but Pickett or Flacco? And in Superflex. So I might lean Flacco, but it's hard to trust a guy that hasn't played in quite some time, just coming off the couch, or, but you're playing the Cardinals. So, and it's bad weather. He might be, playing with his gloves or whatever. Hey, I might go Pickett just because the offense looked a lot better with, what they were doing. Flacco, I think we got to wait a week. Got to wait and see what's going to happen. I think he improves the offense, but I could be wrong. Will Haynes goes, do we trust A-Chain this week? No, I don't trust him yet. Give him a week. Got to give him a week. He re-aggravated it after after 2 weeks ago after he came back. And it's the same knee he aggravated prior against the Giants. So I would let this, I would give it a week. Give it a week. But for the Rams, Cooper Kupp, Puka, I mean, you're kind of in a situation where you need to play him. Denzel Ward is also going to be out in this game. So that helps the wide receivers regardless. So I definitely hope they exploit that particular matchup. But I think Kyron Williams is the main target here if you're looking for somebody to play. Just because, I mean, honestly, they have changed identity. They look like they're more of a run team lately. But I really do think that it's right now, I think the offense runs through him. That's how it feels. That's how it looks when I watch the games. They're not passing as much, and they are just sticking to the run. So I'm going to go with Kyron Williams as the main guy for that particular offense and just roll with that. I think Cooper is kind of taking a back seat till he gets healthier. So I think that's how they're going to run that particular offense now. Wilson goes, A-Chain could split carries with Wilson. Yeah, they're going to both eat into each other. I'm just not trusting A-Chain this week. I think we're going to wait. All righty. For the game that Rasta has been waiting for, the 49ers, who are 8-3, are coming out to the East Coast to visit the Eagles, who are 10-1. San Francisco is favored. By 3 points, the over-under being 47.5. So you come out here to the East Coast and you're the ones that are favored by 3. Ugh. Interesting. Dallas Goedert has been practicing all week from the broken forearm. He is listed as doubtful. He's not going to play, but he's coming back. Lane Johnson is expected to play. Okay, we'll see. Nick Bosa is limited, and he was limited on Friday with an injury. So just be aware. It doesn't matter, though. They have a ton of depth on that defensive line. I can't suggest to not play somebody in this matchup. Play everybody if you have them. I think Smith is going to do well. Brown, everybody, just throw them in there. You're going to do just fine. The only guy I wouldn't play is Stroll, who is covering right now currently for Goddard. I do see something in the cards, and Rasta brought it to fruition with the Eagles. He called it first with Zach Ertz. He could be joining them shortly. I don't think it's this week. I think it's next week, though. So just be aware. But play everybody here. Just play them all. This game is going to be a great game. The over-under to me it screams the under. It just screams it. It just feels like one of those games where I'm like, oh, this game is going to go like 30 plus each. No, it definitely feels like defense takes over and it just becomes one of those really, really good defensive battles. I might play the under here just for fun, just because I have a feeling. I have that gut feeling. So I might do that. We got the Sunday night game with the Chiefs versus the Packers. Chiefs are 8-3 facing the Packers, who are 5-6. Chiefs are favored by 6 points. Over-under is 42.5. Sounds like Aaron Jones is going to be out of this one. Another one. He hasn't practiced all week, so Aaron Jones is most likely out. I haven't had any word that he is, but he's most likely out. Jared Reed is also in that boat as well, but he is not as bad. He is just questionable at this point. He should be playing, but we will have to wait and see. It's a Sunday night game, so you got to keep an eye out for the practice reports. Jerick McKinnon is questionable. Doesn't mean he's out, but he wasn't in last week. He's still recovering from injury. Nick Bolton is listed as out, so Nick Bolton will not be playing. You got to play Rashid Rice if you have him. Kelsey, of course, Pacheco, Mahomes. Yeah, you got to play, but you could have an argument that he is not what he was. And yeah, someone said that, I think last year, the year before, that he's going to take a downturn. Wonder who said that and got yelled at for it. I think a lot of people got mad at me for that one. I'm telling you, he had it, he was Tyreek Hill. Yeah. Anyway, Packers. I'm not playing AJ Dillon unless I am in really bad shape. Patrick Taylor's the only other guy that's involved in that offense. Not playing Jordan Love. Barely going to play any of the wide receivers. Christian Watson, maybe, but I really don't even want to play that. So the question we had before with Jaden Reed and Christian Watson, I really don't want to play either one of them. So I think Downs might be the answer for that one. Other than that, you're playing your Chiefs. You're not playing your Packers. That's how I would play it. The over under, the line, everything just screams Chiefs. So I'm playing Chiefs in this one. Not much I would really do otherwise. It's really not a crazy game. Let's go to Monday night, and we got the Monday night game is the Bengals, who are 5-6, who are facing the Jaguars in Jacksonville at 8-3. Jags are favored by 8.5. The over/under is 39. Interesting. Now that number is really because of Jake Browning. Jake Browning is on the injury report with a wrist injury, so they are finally listing wrist injuries. He was a full participant the last 2 days. He should be fine. I'm not worried about it. T. Higgins is off the injury report. Finally, thank God, he is back, as we discussed before. He is back and ready to play. We mentioned before, Travis Etienne is currently on the injury report for a chest injury. He was out of practice yesterday. They had 2 practices. They had one Wednesday and Thursday. He was out for both. One was a walkthrough. And then, he was limited today, but there hasn't been any news that he will or won't play. Dearness Johnson is number 2. Make sure you have Dearness Johnson on your team if you are the Travis Etienne owner. If you don't, you're going to be in a tough spot on Monday night. So make sure you have Dearness Johnson just in case. If he's healthy, if he's playing, Etienne is the guy. I'm good with that. I think this is a great game for Trevor Lawrence. Trevor has been looking great lately. Definitely throw him in your lineup. You can throw all three of the passing options if you want for the Jaguars in there, including Evan Ingram. I think all those guys should be just fine. On the Bengals side of the ball, not so much. If right now, if I had the option to sit Chase, I might. And it's based on who I have in my lineup. We saw 1 week with Jake Browning. It didn't look good. It didn't. I'm sorry. The team looked like garbage. The only time they ever did anything good is if there was a pass interference call that brought him down the field. And I watched that game pretty closely because I was trying to see if Jake Browning was the guy. Because everybody kept saying, "Oh, just give him 1 week. He's just, he's this really good guy. He's really good. He's a great quarterback. Give him some time." I gave him a game, and it was horrible. It just didn't look like what he should. I'm not a big fan of him at all. I don't know if T. Higgins helps this by taking a little bit of coverage off, but I didn't see anything that really helped or improved his situation. Joe Mixon, you can play. They're going to definitely crowd the line a little bit. Jaguars are pretty decent against the run. Right now, they're listed against the running back as 10th best. So running backs wise, it's really just at this point, it's more of a volume play. Chase, I don't know if I can trust, but I understand he would be more of a wide receiver 3 for me than a wide receiver 1 if you're going to put him in your lineup. That's just how I feel about it. You guys can berate me all you want in the comments. I have no problem with it. It's fine. All I'm trying to say is that Jake Browning is not Joe Burrow, and you're not going to turn Browning into Burrow with Chase. Chase is who he is because of Burrow. Always remember the quarterback's the one that has to throw him the ball. The quality of the target goes to the receiver, which then turns the receiver into who they are. To what makes Tyreek who he was. Mahomes made that too. But also the wide receiver gets open for the guy to throw the ball in the right place. Chase hasn't been doing that lately. Just saying. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, sorry. I can get on a rant for an hour about that. So Sports Bro goes, and I appreciate you sticking through this whole thing. He goes Singletary or Jaylen Warren. Wow, those two are right next to each other. Let me get to my rankings. I have to tweak mine a little bit, but these guys are pretty much where I would want them to be anyway. Jaylen Warren is at 17. I have Singletary at 22. The matchup-wise, I think Warren might be a little bit more involved. I think it's going to be wet. It's going to be gross. They're going to be passing it short, which would go to Warren. They'd be keeping it on the ground most likely just because of the wet weather. Singletary is in a little bit of a better scenario just because they're going to be in Denver and no real crazy weather events that I can see in Denver, right? Yeah, nothing in Denver at the moment. It's in Houston? Never mind. Dome. Singletary's been used pretty well lately. That's hard to pass. I think I'm going to go with Warren here. I think Warren's probably your best bet. So, yeah, let's go with Jaylen Warren over Devin Singletary for this one. I have Singletary in a lot of positions, so I can understand that particular question. I'm not playing him in one of my leagues. I'm playing Olave over him and a few other guys. Well, I have Christian McCaffrey in that league, so I have to play Christian McCaffrey. But, yeah. So those are the games. Quick breakdown. Hope everybody enjoys. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, please check out Underdog Fantasy as well. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. They have pick'em contests. They will help you with your first deposit as well. Make sure you guys use the promo code GetRight, and they will double your first deposit. And there is also a special out, but this isn't the one. But they have specials out every week. We had this one, but of course they already played. But we'll have a new one up next week. But make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you guys sign up if you haven't already. Please use the promo code GetRight, and when you do, they will help you at checkout. Also, make sure if you guys get a chance, check out our affiliate podcast as well, the Fantasy Frontline podcast with Tim and AJ, as well as the Check Down podcast with Cody McGoats and Shirtless Pat and the crew. And keep an eye out for AJ's Dead Zone Fantasy show that should be out shortly. So make sure you guys are checking them out as well. Also, make sure you guys check out our good friends at Dynasty Pylon and our good buddy Tycoon over at the Fantasy Boardroom. Keep an eye out for those guys as well. Wonderful guys. If you need great advice about Dynasty or IDP, definitely go visit Martin over at Dynasty Pylon, as well as check out our good friend, like I said, Tycoon, who is on the Fantasy Boardroom. He'll help you with anything. He's a great guy. Love having him on the show. Great friend of the show. Also, make sure you guys keep an eye out for that 1,000 subscriber giveaway video. We're going to be giving that away next week, so keep an eye out. This is the ring that we're going to be giving away. It's from TrophySmack.com. Make sure you guys check out the other stuff from TrophySmack.com as well. They have belts, trophies that you can customize. You have chains that you can customize as well. Got all these wonderful things that they have for you. So make sure you guys check out TrophySmack.com. Use the promo code GETRIGHT, and they will help you at checkout. So thank you for all those that have come and listened to me talk for over an hour and 20 minutes. Sports Bro, Mel Nurse, Ray, Wilson, Rasta, all you guys, I appreciate it. Smokey the Cat, thank you guys for joining me today. We really do appreciate it. Josh in the beginning of the show, all you guys, really appreciate your help and getting through this show. I always enjoy questions and talking with you guys and giving you my opinion. So thank you so much for all those that are out there. Make sure you guys also check us out on Sunday morning. I will be back here to help you with last-minute starts to questions. So make sure you guys are here Sunday morning at 11. I will go over actives and inactives at 11:30. We will be able to help you with a couple of the guys that we had listed as questionable that we talked about today. I'll let you know who is starting, who is not. And then Monday, we will be back with overreactions to the week, as well as waiver wire targets for the next week. And then Wednesday, we will be back for some roster management. No more. The trade deadlines are almost done for a lot of leagues. So a little less trade talk. And then we're back here on Friday. So make sure you guys check us out then. Make sure make sure you guys keep liking and subscribing to the video if you haven't already. And also, thanks so much. I hope everyone has a wonderful week 13. Like I said, I'll be back on Sunday, and I hope to see you guys all soon. So for Frank, for Dustin, for my good buddy Rasta in the chat, I hope everyone has a wonderful week 13, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
Wanted to write fantasy is the play. Marking often, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go